Hey, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Raza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, we give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Hadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. And over the past couple of days, you hear this, or seen, brothers may know already, about this outbreak that's breaking loose over there in different parts of America, the US, and a sign of the times, man, of pestilences increasing. And Esau, being the mad scientist that he is, experimenting not on just humans but animals as well, as they usually do, and pouring out these different lab experimentations out there in nature, in which the animals are increasingly partaking in and being used as guinea pigs, basically, for what they want to do when they want to release some more pestilences, some more viruses for the human consumption, so to speak. The whole C-19er that was that was orchestrated and planned by the wicked elite and the 1%, so to speak, the oligarchs of society. And now you got this so-called outbreak of deer, antlers and all of that, getting all these different bumps and mumps all over their body, man, cysts and all of that. And they're saying it's not human transmissible at the moment, but all these animals, from rabbits and squirrels and so on and so forth, are being affected. But mainly they're showing you the deer being affected, and that's no coinky dink, man, because in that movie that came out late last year, Leave the World Behind, that famous movie, produced or scripted by a guy, Barack Obama, the Obama family, and put into production on Netflix. They show you the various scenes of deers running throughout the fields and just being in odd places, and people didn't know what the deer represented in the movie. Why all of a sudden they're seeing a lot of deer just populating different areas, and it's part of the predictive programming. It's a sign of the times. These devils, these so-called wicked elite, they put things in their movies to show you, foreshadow basically what the things that they're trying to plan and do, on the earth as part of their New World Order agenda. And depopulation is a part of that, major part of that. And pestilences and viruses being sent out from their different labs, whether it's through the animals or human beings, is definitely a part of that genetic modification or depopulation tactics that these devils want to enforce in these last days, as a part of accomplishing their New World Order. They, the wicked elite also call it the culling. We're basically cutting down the numbers, basically. And I remember watching one movie, Resident Evil. I can't remember the actual total title of the whole movie, but one of the latest, I think it was the recent one, Resident Evil, or one of the recent ones. And you had basically a meeting with the elites, like a Cobra type meeting set up, and there was basically discussing how they want to bring forth their New World Order by, eugenic programs and so on and so forth. Like, your guy Bill the Kill Gates was bragging and boasting about how they want to bring down the population by 10% by using these V shots, and no one was taking heed to what he was saying at the time. But they was basically telling you in a nutshell that they wanted to depopulate the earth through their jump shots, man. And this was like a year before that whole scamdemic happened around the four winds of the earth. So this shit's always been in the plans for the wicked elite, man, because they're the mad scientists and they love experimenting on the people. As it tells you in Psalm 64, they do a diligent search. So all these social experiments that they run on the people and animals is all part of their New World Order agenda, man. So you can't live in ignorance, man. Ignorance is not bliss, especially in these last days. That's why the Lord said to be circumspect. So you got the famous scenes from the new movie Leave the World Behind. If brothers ain't seen it already, I advise you to go and watch it, showing you that these devils have different protocols and different measures of anarchy, chaos that they're trying to ensue in societies to bring forth that order of chaos scenario, man, that order through the chaos. It's all predictive programming. It's all Hegelian dialectic, esoteric knowledge that the wicked elite try and use to bemuse the people into accepting their agenda, which is ultimately they want to put sea hips you know, the MOT to the B and everyone on the face of the earth. And the first, funny enough, because they used to start with the animals, you know, your pets and your dogs and all that. They used to chip your dogs, and now they want to chip human beings with the same type of tracking device, man. GPS, radio frequency identification, man. So this is not far fetched. And just going back to the movie, in regards to the dare, you know, these devils are showing you that you know, they got ulterior motives, man, and you know, they got something that in the works for the goyim, for the population, and it's all gonna lead ultimately to the, you know, the digital enslavement of you know, the people of the earth, pursuant to Revelations 3 and 10, you know, and it's gonna come into that hour of temptation, man, which is nigh upon us, man. Sooner rather than later, they're gonna you know, make these make the C-hip technology mandated, and you know, around the four winds of the earth, and anyone that doesn't want to partake in it, they're gonna basically delete, you know, by way of you know, capital punishment, which is gonna be by way of the guillotines. So we're definitely in that time, man, and these you know, that movie Leave the World Behind was definitely a good insight to what the times that we're living in now, and how Esau's going to use all the chaos scenarios to bring forth his so-called New World Order agenda, man, which is all futile anyway, because as soon as he's about to fill his belly, you know, pursuant to Job, the 20th chapter, around the 22nd verse, the Lord says he's going to pour out his indignation upon these devils, man. So that New World Order is going to be short-lived, you know. So anyway, I just want to read a couple of scriptures, close out. I don't make this too long, but sure, brothers get the point. So Luke 21 and 10 says things to come. So this is prophecy, things to come, things that are getting ready to happen or happening at the moment and ready to intensify. So it says Luke 21 and 10, and this is Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Yeah, so there's going to be civil disobedience, civil unrest. Ultimately, it's going to lead to World War III. So all these nations are going to be bumping heads, man. You know, foreign and domestic citizens are going to be bumping heads. The martial law troops, like you saw, you know, your guy King Trump's just declared martial law in all the different states, mainly DC, and now he's going to Chicago. I think even Florida was part of that as well, LA. And now they're moving to Chicago, you know, to basically go after you jakes in the slums. Because he wants to get rid of you, man. He wants to eradicate you jakes in the slums, man. You young YNs. You YNs and YNBs, man, as I call you. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, diseases, viruses. It says, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Yeah, so we're in the time where, you know, a lot of things are manifesting from the spiritual realm into this physical realm, man, especially with the angels, you know, showing themselves throughout the, you know, four winds of the earth with this chariots of Israel, the white man calls UAPs or UFOs, flying saucers, if you will. You know, they're fearful signs, from great signs from the heavens, man. The Lord showing the different constellations, blood moons and all that. They even said, I think this month, was it next month, they're going to be a black moon. I've never heard about a black moon before. Usually it's like a red blood moon or something to that nature, or an eclipse, solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. Now they're saying they're going to have a black moon. I don't know. But you know, these are the signs and the wonders of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, showing you that we're at the end of this society. So this is definitely the time to take heed, and you know, and warning, you know, for what's to come, and to repent unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. If you're part of the Lord's hopeful elect, you know, you're going to be in a spirit of mourning and repenting, man. You're not going to be living in you know, folly and, you know, mirthdom like the rest of the 2/3 of our people are. You know, while all hell is about to break loose, you know, the enemy's plotting their demise, basically. So, you know, 2/3 are going to get caught out there when all this shit starts to manifest even more. Because what did the Lord say? That he's got plagues that, you know, that are not written in this book, that's going to take hold of these people in these last days. So, definitely some prophetic times, man. 2 Ezra 6:16 and 22 says, of many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. So a decline of food, and you know, the rationing and all that, that's definitely going to come in a time of the hour temptation, the Jacob's trouble, so to speak. You know, Esau's going to be rationing out the food. You see what's going on over there in Gaza. You know, that's a small example of what's going to happen to the American citizens, man. Esau's really just going to starve people out. on purpose, man. You know, public demolition, basically, of his own society. It says, shall perish with famine, and it says, and the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy. Yeah. So there's going to be death and destruction in the highest level, you know. And it says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. Yeah. So this is what the time we're living in, man. And Jake don't take shit serious until it's too late. But only the elect are going to be you know, in the right spirit, sober minded, and the knowledge of wisdom shall be the stability of our times. Strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure, man. The only ones that are going to be secure in these last days are the elect. And the Lord's going to show who he's chosen are through those men. You know, it says, you jump down real quick. It's looking for the precept where it says, you know, all these plagues are sent as scourges for amendment upon the wicked, which is 2/3 of our people, these other nations too, you know. Can't seem to see it at the moment, but I know it's in this chapter. Let me see. Can't seem to see it at the moment, but I know it's in this chapter, man, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the Lord said these are sent out as, you know, scourges for amendment upon the wicked, man. You know, pestilence, you know, all these different things, man. And the wicked will not turn from their wicked ways. Basically, that's what it says. Roughly paraphrasing. I think it's 17. It should be 17, roughly around there. Yeah. Second is 16, 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. That's the times that we're in, man. So the beginning of wars and powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall we do? What shall I do when those evils shall come? That's the times we're in, man. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent for scourges for amendment. So this is the time that the Lord's punishing this earth, man, because it's exceedingly wicked. It says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. It says, nor be mindful of the scourges. Yes, 2/3 are not going to adhere to the warning signs from the Lord, especially from his mouthpiece, which are the prophets of the Lord. They're gonna err from understanding. They're not gonna adhere. So this is why the judgment's gonna come. The Lord said the same shall know it by death through pain. You know, and that's the 2/3 of our people. The wicked ones, you know, the insolent ones, man, the ones that refuse to return. And 2 Ezra 15 and it says 5, it says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So that's the times that we're in. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So this is the time where the Lord's really going to set us, you know, close the show by way of mass death and destruction, man. And to show you tribes out there that we're at the end of this thing, and this kingdom is on its last legs, man. And Esau, Edom, they're going into slavery after the smoke is cleared, starting with their wicked elite, you know, because they think that they're going to rule forever, man. Their inward thoughts that their kingdom shall continue forever, but they're imagining a vain thing. Because the true successors and rulers of this earth is not the Chinese, not the Arabs or any other nation, but the children of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes, starting with the elect. 12,000 from each tribe, man. So we got next, so to speak. But, you know, in the midst of that, 2/3 of the Lord's own people are going to be persecuted and destroyed by all different types of manner, you know. Sword, famine, death, and destruction, because, you know, they're incoherent, man. They're insubordinate. They're wicked as all hell. And they're revolted and gone, man. So, you know, this is a serious sign of the times, man. And expect more of these type of pestilences to be released out there, and you know, people to be affected, even though they're saying it's not, you know, human transmissible at the moment. But Esau's got some shit in the works, man, and this is definitely a sign from that movie, Leave the World Behind. Predictive programming, man. So, brothers got to stay circumspect and vigilant, as, brothers always been saying. So, I'll close out anyway, give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.